Hey, baby Marky. It's Daddy one more time. This is a big one, and I don't mean to throw all this stuff at you at once, honey. Okay, but something I was expecting happened. No big deal, but it brought about a life lesson that I've been wanting to teach you about, and I've been going over in my mind how to teach you because it's something I know that you're going to have to learn how to deal with, and it's not something that is just so readily everybody knows about, and something I want you to hear from me. Okay, and it's how you deal with adversity. Okay, how you deal with the frenemy, how you deal with the mean girl syndrome, okay, or the critique that comes a little too close to home. This is the kind of stuff that can rattle in your head, and they say rent a lot of space in your head, that you wish you got back years later, right? There's nobody listening to this right now that doesn't know what I'm talking about, and it's one of these things that you just wish you dealt with better, at the time, if you if you had the tools, right? So it's something I've thought about a lot, and the opportunity struck right now because I knew that there was no way I was going to drop the bomb that I did and it not spark some sort of reaction somewhere. And the other thing I knew before going public with all this stuff, that no matter the depth of the content, that I was putting out there, no matter it being the antithesis of braggadociousness or whatever, that I knew that there's just way too many negative Nancys out there and bitter Bobs, that it was not going to spark some level of critique that starts off as a friend, reaching out, but then turns into what are you, reality TV show star now? Like, yeah, that's the whole point of this. That's the main takeaway. But look, doesn't make people bad people, okay? It's one of the lessons that I wanted to teach you. That this is going to happen in your life, okay? I knew no matter how much I'd be advertising, like, don't let this happen to you. This is, and my goal is that people, go back and hug their kids and say, my God, I'm not going to take you for granted for another second, another day. That someone was going to watch, only this much of it and be in a frame of mind to be able to take in through their filter, okay, what they, wanted to and needed to hear, okay, about it. And it was going to reverberate out, into, some sort of negativity. I just knew that there was just no way that, I was not going to get flack over this. And it's had me thinking that, of course, this is the thing that you're going to hear from the naysayers and the people on the other side is, how could your dad be making such a spectacle, be putting this up, publicly, forgetting about the fact of, what this goal is and what the intent is and, how maybe smart it is, to, do it this way, or the fact that it's year 12, maybe I've tried every other way, right? But again, it's not, you don't want to get sucked into the minutia of all that stuff, right? What I want to just show you and tell you, baby, is, how you take it apart, how you take the situation like this apart, and just start with the one question, the one word questions, what I mean? How, how does this person see the same thing everybody else sees, but then has a completely different assessment about what it was? Or maybe it's not, and maybe that's just my mind going towards it, because it's the same exact thing. The point of the matter is that 90% of everybody's life happens between here. Everybody thinks that, everyone's reacting to the same reality out there. No, they're not, okay? Only 10% of it is what's going on out there. The other 90% is how it's coming through their glasses and their filter. And, and the more that you recognize the fact that we are just nothing but overgrown monkeys, hairless monkeys, okay, we do not have control over every behavior that we have, okay? We react predictably to predictable situations. And it's important that you try and get this right and you learn from my mistakes, okay? And I'll just quickly tell you that, the first part of this is just to sit there and understand that simple fact that, you know, they've done the studies. You know, you put a group of Republicans over here and Democrats over here, they watch the exact same news thing and then say, what did you see? And then these educated people write completely different stories about what they just saw. And it will blow your mind, okay? Be something so obvious as the sky is blue or green, okay? But it really just goes to show you that people believe what they want to believe, all right? No matter what, okay? There's no level of fact, that will make everybody just believe, one thing. So the first thing you just got to know is you got to know that, right? How's this happen, okay? Now the next thing is the really important lesson that I wish I learned, and I would have saved myself a lot of time and heartache and pain, with my relationships, my whole life, going, up until now, and that is, I heard this amazingly intelligent, ignore. Phone's coming in, and the CIA guy, said something. I always knew that the key is really putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Somebody's having a hard time with you, someone's coming at you, somebody's trying to take you down or something like that. Immediately you're going to go to, I'm going to fight this person, right? Or any situation. It's just really, really difficult to be able to sit there. People say they do it, but it's another thing actually really doing it, going there, putting yourself in that other person's shoes. Sitting there saying, all right, before we make a judgment about what this guy's saying about me, who is he? I know him forever, okay? I love him, and he loves me, okay? I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know who's chirping in his ear. I don't know what he's unhappy with. I don't know what challenges he's got going on in his life. Once you start playing that in your mind and putting yourself in this other person's shoes. This CIA guy said something so smart. He said, if you can do this, if you can train your brain to be able to do this, to actually physically go into the other person's shoes, any person that you have, it will change your life. It will change every relationship that you have ongoing. It will change your life, and I believe that so wholeheartedly, because Daddy's biggest mistake is when he's challenged, okay, instead of doing what I'm telling you to do, the natural reaction is to get your thorns out and defend yourself, and part of that's understanding Daddy's upbringing. He was a smaller guy. When people challenged him, mostly tough, older, bigger guys, Daddy had to kind of come out swinging. I couldn't exactly go toe to toe and talk about it a bit. I kind of had to fight my way out of a corner. All right, whatever, it's an excuse or whatever. I'm just trying to get to, I'm always thinking about, the underlying fundamentals of why, things are happening. So the point is that, the first part of it is you identify, oh, okay, all right, this person is seeing whatever they want to see, right? Then the second part, all right, get in their shoes, get in their head, have empathy with this other person, right? I know who this person is, okay? I wonder what he's upset with. What would make him want to do this, okay? You start thinking along those lines, and then now you're actually in a position. You're in a position to be able to do the next most important thing, and that is cut the negativity off at the roots, right? As soon as this person comes at you, if you take the bait and then you start fighting with this person, now that negativity is now in full cycle, all right? It's in your head. It's going to affect who you're going to interact with after that, and you're going to be wrong, okay? You're going to be like me walking down the street, and I could swear, all right, that, if you looked at the videotape, it'd be people coming at me or something, but why are they being attracted? Because, if you're walking down the street, a ball of anger, right? People feed off that, right? So what's the way to deal with it? Cut the negativity off right from the beginning, all right? Have the ability to take a step, take a deep breath, all right? Remove yourself from the situation. Try and cut it off. I hung up and said, we'll talk about it later. Give yourself an opportunity to come back at a later time after putting yourself in this person's shoe. Now you see this person as, a good person, just did a bad thing, right? Like we can all do, right? Or like we all have done. Everybody has been jealous, has been envious, has taken a shot at somebody, all right? nobody's a saint, okay? We can all do that. So now you see somebody who just is not a bad person, right? Because the mistake in this situation is now to engage in war, right? It was just one little shot that came at you. It wasn't war, all right? But the big mistake I've made in my life is that I've taken the bait and turned it into war. And now, instead of this person that was a friend that just, had a bad day, right? Now it's something so much more negative and persistent. And it now has tangents coming off at left, right, and center, right? So, but if you're able to actually do that, put yourself in that position to have empathy for this other person, all right? Understand what might be going on in their life to make them do that, so that you'll have a second to take a breath to be able to sit there and say, no, all right, I'm in charge of my emotions, not you. I'm in charge of my emotions. Thank you very much. I hear you. I'll consider it, but, you don't let them walk all over you. You stand your ground, but you don't take the bait and start war, all right? Now you've made an investment for the long term, right? Remember this, all right? Short-term pain, long-term gain, right? You want long-term gain, you got to eat a little crow in the short run, right? So I wanted to immediately just be like, what? Okay, I guess blah, 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 blah. And you know what? Would have made me feel great in the short run, sort of, right? Okay, but long-term now, all right? Never really makes you feel good cutting somebody to pieces, right? Even if they've walked into it, even if it's obvious, okay? That's not, that's not the way forward, right? But how do you do it, right? How do you do it is you have to cut the negativity from the beginning, okay? You can't let it keep you in this cycle, right? Do what's hard in the moment, all right? Make an investment, okay? Take the high road, as hard as it feels in the beginning, because it's gonna pay off for you, baby. It's gonna pay off, right? You're a beautiful girl, you're intelligent, you're talented, you're gonna be in these rooms, okay, with all of the girls, and every guy's eyes are gonna be on you. And you're gonna have all the attention in the room, and it's gonna make other girls feel bad, and they're going to be smarming with you. They're going to, it's going to happen. It doesn't make them bad people, right? It just makes them humans, right? But it's not fair to you either, right? You didn't do anything, all right, to get all this attention, but it's happening, right? So how do you deal with it, right? You have empathy, you understand where it's coming from, all right? And you don't take the bait. You don't feed into the negativity, okay? I wish I could have taken my own advice all these years. I wish, but if this is the only way that we can communicate, and again, everyone, all right, the whole idea here is that you can come back at any point in life and see what's going on in Daddy's life and share in, our life together in some way, shape, or form. And yes, I do want this shared all over the place and liked and all this other stuff, because the algorithms are going to perpetuate that, and it's going to be more, they'll show it more, okay? Somebody in England who types in parental alienation might be able to see this, might make him feel better, might make him feel like he's got a way forward, okay? And, again, the whole purpose of this is so that certain people lose their jobs, get called out, all right? There are really good people in these systems, and they do not have the power. The ugly, gross people have the power. And stuff like this, hopefully, is what helps them regain the power so that we can benefit in society. Because right now, there's a lot of stuff broken, and I don't see enough being done. So even if this is not the greatest effect or whatever, at least we're trying. And I know stuff's all over the place, baby, but you got to understand, Daddy's not doing this for, hey, look at me, okay? It's smarter than that, all right? This is something that can work, and nothing has worked. I've tried it, all right? I love you. Take this life lesson. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Have empathy. Cut the negativity off. Do not take the bait. Long term. Do what's right for the long term. I love you.